What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul. This is the Leeds Therapy, and I do hope you are doing well. Before we get into the video, if you could just make sure that you are subscribed, your notifications are turned on, that you're liking, that you're hyping the video for me. If you're listening to the audio version of this, just make sure that you're liking it on Apple or on Spotify, and also as well that you are following on either one of those platforms. That would be greatly appreciated as well. So I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. As a Leeds fan, we should have done. Thank you for the support on the last video of the stadium update. Really appreciate that. So if you've not seen that, have a look. It's the pinned video on my YouTube channel at the moment. So go and give that a look. Go and give it a watch. There's some nice, interesting updates on that for you. Right, your drink setup. It's time for an upgrade. This is the Holy Deluxe Pack, and this is how you enter the Holy Universe properly. You're getting a massive selection across Holy Energy, Hydration, and Iced Tea, plus the iconic Holy Shaker to mix it all up. No bull, full flavour, forget the same old sugary drinks. This gives you variety for gaming, creating, working, whatever the day throws at you. And that's the best bit. You're not gambling on one flavour. Try the range, mix it up, and find the ones you keep coming back to. If you've been thinking about trying Holy, this is the ultimate starter kit. Grab your Holy Deluxe Pack now, and if you're new to Holy, use code LEEDS5 for £5 off your first order over $14.99, or for existing customers, use code LEEDS for 10% off your order. Get involved in the drinks revolution. No bull, just flavour, and a good time. So, didn't do one of these for a little while ago, so it's time for me to do a new one, and this is the update of the week that was at Leeds United. So what I wanted to do was obviously just run through that and just make sure that we've got all the details, put it into a nice little succinct little box for you, and we can crack on and kind of see where we are. So looking at it, when you think about it in terms of how Leeds are doing, if this is what Leeds United are planning on starting the 2026-2027 season, we're going to have to strap ourselves in. Because I think between Monday the 17th of August and Sunday the 23rd, we've had players arriving, players leaving, new contracts, transfer rumours, Farke talking about the future. And then to end it all off, we get Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 1. Stacked free kick, 3 points, clean sheet. And Leeds starting a new Premier League season with an away victory at the City ground, something that we've not done in the top flight for 55 years. So, great start. And the last time we won at the top, the last time we won at the City ground was 1991, 1992, and we all know what happened that season. So, all in all, not bad for 7 days. So, what I would suggest you would do is go grab yourself a drink, get yourself comfortable, because this, ladies and gentlemen, is the week that was. So first things first, Monday, the window starts moving. Let's start at the beginning of the week because Leeds were already heading into an important period. Pre-season was finished, a 4-0 victory over Augsburg had given us plenty to think about, but now the real stuff was coming, and suddenly the transfer window started moving. One of the biggest stories was Nico Elvedi. The Swiss international defender was closing in on a move from Borussia Mönchengladbach. I think this was a really interesting signing because this isn't Leeds buying potential. This isn't somebody we're hoping can eventually develop into a Premier League defender. This is a 29-year-old with more than 300 Bundesliga appearances, Champions League experience, and over 70 caps for Switzerland. More importantly, he's someone Farke knows. They worked together at Gladbach, so immediately you can see the logic. Leeds had already spent heavily strengthening the defence with Tarek, and you've already got Joe Rodon and Jacobiol. And now you're potentially adding Elvedi. Suddenly, that centre-back department looks completely different. And it's also made another story from the beginning of the week make a lot more sense. Sebastian Bornau was heading towards an exit. Hamburg wanted him on loan, and with Elvedi coming through the door, the pathway for Bornau was becoming pretty obvious. But he wasn't the only player heading out, because Joel Peru's situation was moving quickly as well. West Ham were pushing to take Peru on loan to the London Stadium, and this is probably one of those transfers where Leeds supporters are going to have mixed feelings on it, because Perraud played an important role in getting Leeds back into the Premier League. He scored 19 goals during the Championship title-winning season and won the Golden Boot. Whatever you think about him as a Premier League striker, that contribution shouldn't be forgotten. But football moves quickly. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has become Farke's first choice number 9. Lucas Mecha gives Leeds another option, and increasingly, it looks like Pirot's opportunities would be limited. So by the start of this week, the direction of travel was becoming clear. Tuesday brought more discussion about exactly what this Leeds squad was going to look like, and there was another important theme developing: continuity, because this summer hasn't just been about buying players. Leeds have also been protecting the core of the squad. Ethan Ampadu, Joe Rodon, Jayden Bogle, players who have been important during this journey were being tied down, and that matters. Because sometimes when clubs talk about ambition, everybody immediately looks at transfer fees. Who's coming in? How much have we spent? Who's the £30 million player? But keeping your best players is recruitment as well. Ampadu is the captain. Rodon has developed into a major figure in the defence. Bogle has become an established Premier League right-sided player. Those are players you build around, and Leeds appear to understand that. At the same time, questions remained over whether the squad was completely finished. There was talk around goalkeeping department. There was still speculation around attacking players, and with the transfer deadline approaching, you got the impression that Leeds weren't finished. And Daniel Farke would later make that very clear. Then Wednesday arrived and Leeds got busy. First, Nico Elvedi confirmed. Leeds United announced the signing of the Swiss international from Mönchengladbach, a 3-year contract, another experienced defender, and another piece of what is becoming seriously impressive defensive group. Elvedi had spent more than a decade at Gladbach. He made 364 appearances for the club across competitions and had played Champions League football. He also just played every minute of Switzerland's run to the World Cup quarterfinals. That's serious experience, and I really like the balance Leeds are beginning to build. Moharamovic gives you youth, physicality, and enormous potential. Rodon gives you leadership and familiarity with the Premier League. Biol gives you another physical presence, and Elvedi gives you the experience. That is depth. That is competition. And that's exactly what Premier League squads need. Elvedi also admitted that Farke was an important factor in the move. He knows the manager, he understands what Farke wants, and presumably Farke knows exactly what he's getting. But as one defender arrived, another left. Sebastian Bornau joined Hamburg on loan for the season. Bornau made 17 appearances across all competitions for Leeds after having arrived from Wolfsburg the previous summer. It hasn't quite happened for him at Ellen Road, but rather than sitting around as a fifth-choice centre-back, going back to Germany and playing regularly makes sense for everybody. And then came another departure. Pirot joined West Ham on loan. And this one deserves a proper goodbye, because whatever happens next, Joel Pirot contributed to one of the most important seasons Leeds have had in recent years. 19 goals, Championship Golden Boot, Champions, promotion. He played his part. But Leeds are evolving. And sometimes evolving means moving on from players who helped get you there. That is football. So Wednesday was effectively a changing of the guard kind of day. Elvedi in, Borno out, Pirot out. The squad becoming increasingly shaped around what Farke wants for the Premier League and the type of football that he wants to play. There was another really important story around this week, contracts. Because alongside the recruitment, Leeds have been securing some of their most important players, and Jayden Bogle was among those committing his future to the club. Brendan Aronson was also reported as signing a new 3-year deal. Again, look at the bigger picture here. The club isn't ripping everything up every summer. They're building. There is a core, there is continuity, and then they're adding quality around it. That's how sustainable Premier League squads are built, by retaining your most valuable players. Rodon, Bogle, Aronson. And it feels different to some previous eras at Leeds United, where every summer seemed to involve another rebuild. This feels much more calculated. Thursday brought Daniel Farke's first Premier League pre-match press conference of the season, and there were several interesting comments. Firstly, injuries. Willy Gnonto was ruled out with a hamstring problem. Gabriel Goodmanson was also unavailable, but otherwise the squad was in pretty good shape. Then came the transfer question, and Farke's answer was important. He wasn't going to publicly name positions, he wasn't going to start telling everyone exactly what Leeds were looking for, but the message was clear. Leeds will keep pushing until the window closes, and that's exactly what I wanted to hear, because I really like this squad. I've said that repeatedly. I think Leeds are considerably stronger than when we were 12 months ago, but I still don't think we should look at it and say, that's it, finished. If there is an opportunity to improve this squad before deadline day, take it, because standing still in the Premier League is basically moving backwards, and Farke seems to understand that. He said he wanted the strongest squad possible when the window shuts. That is good. That's exactly the mentality Leeds need. Interestingly, Farke was also asked about his own contract, and in typical Farke fashion, he made a joke out of it. With Ampadu, Rodon and Bogle getting new contracts, he joked that there was no money left for the manager, but underneath the joke was something important. Farke wasn't interested in making the week about himself. His focus was Forest. His focus was the transfer window. His focus was getting Leeds ready. And I think we've reached an interesting point with Daniel Farke. There were periods last season where plenty of supporters questioned him, myself included at times. Could he adapt? Could he make Leeds harder to beat? Could he find a system that worked in the Premier League? And ultimately, he did. The tactical changes during last season helped transform Leeds. The defensive structure improved. The team became more competitive. And now Farke has been given better tools. James Trafford, Tarek Muharamovic, Harry Wilson, Nico Evaldi. These aren't insignificant additions. So now the question becomes, what can Farke do with them? And then came Saturday. The talking stopped. The rumours stopped. The transfer speculation could wait because Leeds United were back in the Premier League, Nottingham Forest away, City ground. And I said before the game that this was going to tell us more about Leeds than almost anything we saw in pre-season because this was real. Forest had Oliver Glasner taking charge of his first Premier League game for the club. New season, home crowd, plenty of expectation. And Leeds went there and competed. Farke started, James Trafford in goal, Biol, Rodon, Muharamovic, Bogle, Stack, Ethan Ampadu, Justin, Aronson, Wilson, Calvert-Lewin. And immediately one thing stood out. Leeds look like an established Premier League team. Not a promoted side hanging on. Not a team hoping to survive. A proper Premier League team. Forest did have opportunities, and one of the biggest moments came early. Igor Jesus got a header towards the goal from a Aina long throw, and James Trafford produced a superb full-length save. That's why Leeds have spent serious money on a goalkeeper. Those moments, you're away from home, the game is tight. One chance can change everything, and Trafford keeps you level. Sometimes a goalkeeper earns you points without getting anywhere near the headlines, and that save mattered. I also thought the defence grew into the game. There were moments in the first half where Forest caused problems aerially. That's something Farke will probably look at, because with Rodon, Bihol and Muharamovic, Leeds shouldn't be getting dominated in those situations, but they adjusted, they improved, and importantly, they kept the clean sheet. Muharamovic nearly scored as well. Noah Okafor produced a dangerous delivery and Tarek powered a header towards goal, only for Matt Sells to produce an excellent save. I think we're already seeing why we've paid big money for him. He's aggressive, he's confident, he's physical, but he's comfortable playing football as well. He's got presence, and I think Leeds supporters are really going to absolutely love him. Then we get to the 88th minute. 0-0, away from home, opening day. At that stage, you're probably thinking, just take the point, we'll be happy, we'll move on. And then Stack steps up. Free kick, long range. Stack looks at the goal. Sales sets himself, and Stack goes for it. Goal. 1-0 Leeds. Absolute scenes in the away end. And I love this because Leeds was so dangerous from set pieces last season. 16 set piece goals. It became a genuine weapon. And what happens in game 1 of the new season? Set piece, Anton Stack, goal, 3 points. Sometimes football doesn't have to be complicated. Full time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 1. And do you know what? That's exactly the sort of victory good Premier League teams pick up. It wasn't 4-0. It wasn't spectacular attacking football for 90 minutes. It wasn't a demolition. It was something arguably more important. Professional, disciplined, patient, competitive, and clinical when the opportunity arrived. Last season, Leeds sometimes had to learn how to survive in games like this. Now, we're starting the new season by winning 1. And there is a big difference. So, what did we learn this week? We bring it all together. What has this week actually told us about Leeds United? Firstly, the squad is getting stronger. Nico Elvedi gives Leeds another experienced Premier League level defensive option. Secondly, the squad is becoming trimmed intelligently. Hiro goes somewhere he should play regularly. Bornau gets football in Germany. Meanwhile, Leeds create space inside the squad. Thirdly, the core is staying together. Players like Ampadu, Rodon, Bogle are being tied down. That matters. Fourth, Farke still wants more. The transfer window isn't finished, and neither is Leeds' business. And finally, this team looks ready to compete. One game doesn't define a season. Of course it doesn't. I'm not sitting here saying Leeds are going to Europe because we've beaten Nottingham Forest 1-0, but equally, we shouldn't be afraid of being positive. Look at where this squad is now. James Trafford, Joe Rodon, Tarek Mihraimovic, Jacobiol, Nico Elvedi, Ethan Ampadu, Anton Stack, Harry Wilson, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Noah Okafor, Daniel James, Ao Tanaka, Lucas Mecha. There is proper Premier League depth developing here. And now things get really interesting because the transfer window is entering its final stages. Farke has already said he'll keep pushing, and I think Leeds should, because this is where ambition matters. If the right attacking player becomes available, just go and get him. If there's an opportunity to add another difference maker, do it. Not because the squad is bad, quite the opposite, because this squad might actually be one or two players away from becoming very, very interesting. And that's the difference. 12 months ago, we were asking, have Leeds got enough to stay in the Premier League? Now I'm asking, how far can this team actually go? That's a much better question. So there we have it. The week that was 17th to the 23rd of August. Elvedi arrives, Bornau heads to Hamburg, Pirro joins West Ham, important players commit the future. Farke says Leeds will keep pushing in the transfer market. Trafford produces a huge save. Mihraimovic continues to look the part. Anton Stack walks into the City ground and delivers an 88th minute winner. Forest 0, Leeds United 1, 3 points, clean sheet, and we're off. Now I want to know what you think. How good is this Leeds squad? Do we still need another signing? We absolutely do. Before the window closes, and most importantly, has that Forest performance changed your expectations for this season? Get your thoughts in the comment. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the Leeds Therapy, make sure your notifications are turned on, because this final week of the transfer window could get very, very interesting. So that is my week that was this week. I do hope you've enjoyed it. I do hope that it's something that you'll find interesting. I do enjoy doing this like succinct crash together version of it. So as I said, make sure you're subscribed, your notifications are turned on, that you're liking, that you're hyping. The important factor in this, comment. Please make sure that you're commenting in the comment section down below. Like the video, all of that good stuff. If you're listening to the audio version, just make sure that you're liking it for me. Just make sure that you are following us either on Spotify or on Apple as well. And yeah, it's going to do it for this one. Have a great week, everybody. And I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of each other this week. Take care of each other. Most importantly, please take care of yourself. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Cheers.